Hello, this is Carolyn from Carolyn's Paper Therapy. And I'm here today to get started on our miniature journal that we're going to create out of a stevia sweetener box. I'll be using again the Rach and Bella Crafts and Journals in Time Fall Friends journal kits. This one will be called Fall is in the Air Mini Journal. And all I did was take the stevia box and cut off the tops and the one side and the bottom, leaving this part for the spine and the front and back for the covers. It ended up being about 9 inches by 4 3/4 inches. I have calculated the size of the inside pages will be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So anyway, our front cover is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. So that's just basically the sizes. What I plan to do is cover this outside and then the inside, and then we'll go from there. I printed out these 2 pages, this one and this one, from our kits on regular copy paper. And this is what I'm going to use for the outside. And what I will do is put my glue on this box and then mount this paper on here and trim on the edges. So let me do that first. I'll be using my glue stick, Scotch permanent glue stick, and we'll see if this works. Make sure I get this covered well. And then I'm going to stick on this paper. And rub it down good. I'm going to use my bone folder here to make sure I get it glued down well. And then I'm going to trim this off. So what I will do is I'm going to trim about, I'm not sure how much that is, 1/2 inch maybe, all the way around. And I will keep all this paper that I cut off for other projects. Now what I'll do is we're going to fold this over the edges. And so I will make my corners cut both of them in at an angle to the corner like that. Maybe out just a fraction from the actual corner. Then where this is going to fold inside here on the spine of the piece, I'm going to cut that also kind of at an angle, kind of a V shape, like that. So this is what we end up with right here. I want to go ahead and gently fold this in. Careful not to split the paper, just do it gently, and that creates our book. So the next thing I'm going to do is fold in these pieces and glue them down. So I'm going to apply some glue. So that makes our outside cover. Nice and neat. And then this paper here is going to go on the inside. And I'll be needing to cut it, so let me get my paper cutter. Measure this to see what size I need this to be, because I want it to come not all the way to the edge, but I want it to cover this right here. So I'm going to need it to be about 8 5/8 by 4 1/2. So let me get this trimmed down first. And we want this to be 4.5 inches tall. Trim this. Well, it's not wanting to cut nice. I'm going to mark this with a pencil or pen and get my other little trimmer out because that's not trimming nice and neat. Okay, let's see if I did that right. As you're doing this, you want to make sure you get the right side up. No, I think this is the right side. So, get this one right side up. And we'll glue this in place like this. And that will cover our inside. Believe it or not, I'm running out of glue, so let me just get this other glue right quick. And then I'll get this placed in here like this. Make sure it adheres well with my foam folder. Okay. And now we have the issue of folding these in, and so they don't buckle up like this. We're going to want to use our bone folder and kind of make a crease. And I guess it's going to do it anyway. when you're working with paper, you know you have a lot of forgiveness. We can cover up any defects here by covering the inside pages. I'm not sure I know what the answer to that is, but it kind of buckled up there a little bit. But that's okay. We're going to cover up, we're going to do some decorating inside there, and that should help cover that up. Maybe didn't get enough glue on it. So there's our little journal covered, ready to go. I might be able to slip that and put some glue in. I may do that off camera. Now, we're gonna insert inside here 2 signatures. And we're gonna put it together by using our sewing it in with some string or ribbon, whatever you wish to use. And I want to mark my little places where that's going to be. So the spine is almost 2 inches. So I think first I need to find the center. I need my pencil. So find my center right there. And then what I want to do is I'm going to come in 3/4 of an inch. On each end. Okay. Now we're going to sew in 2 signatures. So what we need to do is mark 3 points, 3/4 of an inch in and in the center for our 2 signatures. These I just marked so I could find my points of reference. So what we're going to do is measure. We have almost 2 inches, so I'm going to scoot it over a little bit. And I'm going to make my mark at 1/2 here and 1/2 here. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. One half here, 1/2 here. Same thing in the center. One half here, 1/2 here. Now I'm going to erase these other points. So what we're going to do is sew in 2 signatures, one here and one here. Now, what we need to do in addition to that is mark on a piece of paper where those points are so that we can make them in the same places. on our pages that we're going to insert, we'll have to make holes. So I'm going to mark these this way. And this will just be a template that we'll use later on. This is just a scrap piece of paper. That way we'll be able to line up the holes that we place in the little booklet of papers and also on here in order to sew it together. Okay, so that puts our little book together. I'm going to try to do just a little slit right there and put some glue in there and see if I can't get that to mash down nicer. I'll do that off camera. It's not a big deal, but it's bothering me. So this is right side up right there, so I don't get confused. So we've got our little journal ready to decorate the cover and the spine, and then to insert our signatures. So I'm going to go away and do some more work, and I'll be back. Hello, this is Carolyn from Carolyn's Paper Therapy, and I'm back to continue on with my Fall is in the Air mini journal that I am making from a stevia box. In the first part of the video, I showed you how we covered the box, and after a review of the video, I have a couple points I want to make. One is I moved these markings in just a little bit more from the edge than I had to make them equally spaced in here. So that's one thing I changed. I didn't change this way. I changed them, marked them in a little bit on each side. And you know, I had trouble with this one side especially raising up whenever I folded it together. And what I did wrong was I ran out of my glue stick, and I didn't have one handy, so I jumped up and got this and glued, and I did not cover well. So what you want to do is make sure you have plenty of glue stick and have plenty of glue on the item before you glue it in when you're gluing it flat. And then if you'll do what I showed you when you're folding it in, put your ruler or something in the crease to fold it up, and it should work just fine. So I have made some repairs here, and I think it's going to be fine once I get everything all decorated. So this is our cover, and I have gone ahead and poked my holes in here for our binding. I have this tool here, but you can use an awl or anything with a sharp point, and I just poked the holes through to the outside using this tool. Okay, and then I made this template which marks where the holes are on our cover, so that we can do the same thing on the pages inside that are going to fasten into the cover. So first I'll show you my little booklets that I've put together. I've had trouble with my printer printing yellow, so I've got a couple pages in here that have, like this one here, that have some stripes, white stripes, but I didn't worry about that because we're going to cover up most of the pages anyway. But I printed the cover of each of our little signatures on cardstock, and I tried to pick an image that would work this small, because this is very small. It is 3 1/4 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall. So it takes a pretty small image to fit on there. So this one, I centered the little house on the front and then the back ended up plain. On all these pages I've printed front and back. On this one I used the collage page, and because I already had it printed for the front and back. Okay, my pages inside are all printed on regular copy paper, and they're double-sided, and I used some coffee stained paper. Hold on. My phone never rings unless I'm making a video. I used some coffee stained paper, digital papers that I had purchased somewhere along the line. And so I did some of them with the coffee stain, some of them with our paper from our kits. At any rate, they're all double-sided. And then I inserted some music page. That one's upside down. Really, I'm having a crazy day. Okay, and then I also used some book page. Ripped some of it, cut some of it. So in all, I have 7 pages, which makes us have 14 pages inside. And I cut them so that they would be just a little smaller than the cover, maybe 1/4 of an inch smaller all the way around. So these pages here measure 6 1/2 this way and 4 1/4 this way. And you may be working with a different box, so you're just going to want to come in 1/4 of an inch and then double it. It sits in here, it'll sit in here like this. And that's one of them. The other one, I used the collage paper, and then it's put together the same way. So what I've done is come in and marked, using my little template, marked down the center. So that they would line up with the ones in the cover. And I've got those marked on both books. And so what I will do is stack them together nice and neat, like I want them to be. And then I'm going to use a clip to hold everything snug so it doesn't move around on me. And I'm going to attempt to bind this on camera so you can see what I do. I have to admit it's not the easiest thing to do because you know, if I have things all worked out before I show you, then it's easier to show you, but I can't exactly show you how I did it. So I'm going to use this pointed thing here to poke through all the pages in the crease all the way to the outside. Each place that I have marked, making sure that my pages stay together. Okay, so that one's done. Okay, so these are ready to bind into our book, which is what we're going to do next. I use a kind of a large embroidery needle with a large hole in the top and a pointed end, sharp end. And I use, because I had it already, this is candle wicking thread. You can use embroidery floss, which would be just about the same thing. And when you cut it at least 3 times as long as the height of your book. I always do a little bit extra. Okay. So we're going to start on the inside in the center hole, and in the center hole on our book. And pull this through, leaving a nice tail. Then we're going to come back in at the top . Like this. And then we'll go all the way down to the bottom. And you want to pull it kind of tight, and then come back up through the middle, and you want to come up on the other side of this thread. So we're going to come back in back in through the center hole on the outside, and to the other side of this thread on the inside, if I can find it. Oh dear. There we go. Okay. So we come back up on the inside, and then you're going to want to pull this whole thing tight. This binds our first group of pages to the back. This is what it looks like on the outside. And on the inside, you're going to tie a bow or a knot, whichever you prefer. I like to tie a bow. Okay. So that has bound our first little book to the inside. How about that? It worked out. Now we're going to do the next one. I already have my thread cut. Remember, it's at least three times the height of your book. So we're going to work in these back holes this time. Start in the center. Make sure you have your book right side up. Everything's right side up. And leave you a tail so you have something to tie a bow with. We're going to go through the top. And through the top of your little book. Okay. And go all the way down to the bottom. And through the binding. Okay, then you want to come back to the center. Pull all that tight. There's your outside. And then tie your bow on the inside. Okay, so here's our little book all put together. We're going to come back and decorate all these little pages through here. And that's how our little book is going to be. That's all I'm going to show on this video. I will tell you that I have come across some corduroy that my mother gave me, and I'll be using that on the cover, probably with some cheesecloth or something. And I have found this little frame that I had from Tim Holtz. And what you'll want to do if you have a frame, or if you can make a frame with a die cut or something, is find you something that you want to frame on the front. And I think I'm going to use the little hedgehog on the front. So what I'm going to do between now and the next video is I am going to start printing out some of the ephemera from the kits again, because I used most of it, but also some of the pages. And what you can do is go in and find images on the pages that you can cut out and use in your journal for pockets. This can be a pocket, or something like this that you could put in and have a side pocket. And we'll get creative with that. I didn't have much ephemera left over, so we'll use small tags. We'll cut things down and make tags that will fit into this small journal. Just measure your pages so that you know that you're getting your things small enough. And I'll come back and share my ideas with you, and we'll get this all decorated up and put together. So I hope I've been helpful. I didn't feel like I could do this one and not spend the time showing you how it goes together. And someone had asked me about how I sewed my signature and my journals that I've made that were just one signature. And this is exactly what I do every single time. Sometimes I use string, sometimes I use ribbon, but I fasten things together the same way. It fastens it in tightly and neatly, and so that way you have seen how I do that. And this was a little trickier because it's got the wide piece here on the back of the journal, and we'll probably come back and cover this with something. Wrap something around or cover this with some lace or something so that string doesn't show. But it's okay if it does, if that's a look that you like. So that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I didn't mess up too much to confuse you. I hope that it will help you to be able to put together a book of your own. This is a miniature, but you could use the same concept if you're using a larger box to make a journal. Be the exact same process, just different measurements. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.